Greetings! So today I want to take a quick look at this set from Candies. It's a set of various pencils that comes with refills of all sorts, erasers of all sorts, and sharpeners. So you get 5 beautiful pencils. They are metal. The barrel is matte, but some accents are more glossy. Branding is very subtle on the clip. And also these come with a really useful tag identifying which size leads they use. You get a pretty standard 0.5 millimeter mechanical pencil. And you can retract the lead protector in the pencil. A 0.7, 0.9, and then you get 2 of the 2 millimeter leads. Now what's interesting of these models is that, I don't know if you're familiar with these pencils, but usually they would be, you press this button and the lead would fall out. But these are made just like mechanical pencils, so you click and it only extends out a portion of lead, not the whole thing. Then you get eraser refills for the pencils. You get 2 standard erasers. You get a kneadable eraser. That's the soft eraser that's kinder on paper than the regular white erasers. This is a pencil sharpener for the 2 millimeter leads. It has a cap and you can sharpen your lead in there. And there is 2 of them. The refills, 0.5 millimeters for the 0.5 pencil, 0.7, same thing, 0.9, same thing. Then you get a bunch of different hardness of 2 millimeter lead. So you get 4B, which is soft, 2B, which is, mid-soft, 2H, which is hard, and HB, which is the standard. So neither too hard nor too soft. But also you get this really fun pack of colored leads. I've set up one of the pencils with the colored lead. I picked the orange one. So I want to do a full tour of this packaging, go through everything. So we have all the pencils. Then we have eraser refills. They're the small erasers for the end of the pencil. We have our 2 erasers. We have the kneaded eraser, 2 sharpeners. We have all the thick leads, all 5 of them. And then we have 2 of each for the more standard leads, if you want, the 0.9, the 0.7, and the 0.5. And also, I noticed, you get this little card from Candies at the end, and it has some really interesting, helpful instructions on how to clear a lead jam, and how to refill, and the precautions. So yeah, this is a really interesting little addition that can go really unnoticed because it was in the back and it was like on this black background. Another little detail that I thought I'd mention, if you take a look at all of these, and then these, so the smaller leads are labeled as being resin lead, and each package contains 60 pieces, so all in all you have 2 packages of each, so 120 pieces. The larger leads are labeled as graphite lead, and there's 12 pieces per pack. Even the colored leads are labeled graphite, but I don't think that's entirely accurate, unless I'm missing something, but Usually graphite is a single color. So yeah. And yeah, that's the quick tour of everything that's in there. Now I'll take my sketchbook and I'll do a scribble of each of them so you can see. And we can also test out the erasers. To start, I have the 0.5 pencil. Pretty nice, pretty smooth. I love the weight of this pencil. I'd say most of the weight is in this bit, but I think since the pencil seems to be mostly all metal, at least on the outside, it's a really nice experience. I love this textured part that makes gripping onto it much easier, and it's a really nice construction from what I can tell. They seem to be all similarly designed, but the inner workings of the pencil changed to accommodate the different sizes of lids. So this is the 0.7. It's also HB. We can see that it's a bit thicker than the first one. Third one, which is a 0.9. It's not a very big difference of size between these three, but I feel like you can kind of see it on these scribbles. Also, it's worth noting, if you need to refill any of these, you just remove the cap, you remove the eraser bit, and that's where you can insert the new leads. Usually, from experience with any kind of mechanical pencil, you're better off not putting too many leads in the barrel at one time because they can get stuck together and jam. But that's not something I've experienced with these per se, but it's just from using mechanical pencils for a really long time. So if you refill it, be mindful of the number of leads you put in it. Now, the two pencils that are 2mm, these are a bit different. They don't have an eraser bit at the end. It's just a barrel for a lead of 2mm. For these, you're better off putting just one lead in when you need it. I really like this mechanism of having the lead come out in increment. I think in this one I've put a 4B lead because I prefer soft leads. I like the messiness of them. And the last pencil, I've put the orange lead in it like I've told you. It's a very soft lead. There is no grading on it, and all it says is graphite lead, but I don't think this is graphite. I think this is a different formulation, and it can be quite soft as well. I feel like it's quite soft because it loses its point really quickly, and also it's really easy to mark the paper. Now, since it has lost its point, I'm going to sharpen it. I think since there are two sharpeners for this kind of lead, I would keep one for the colored leads and one for the HB. Oh wow. That seems to have worked really well. Look at that point. It's such a sharp point. Now, as this is a really soft lead, I'm going to be super careful. But yeah, it's going to break really easily if you sharpen it. But that's really nice. Also, with these, I like to try and put the lead back in when I'm done so I don't break it off. Which I should also do with this one. There you go. So that's my scribbles. Now the other thing I want to try is the eraser. My expectations are that this should erase the graphite quite well. Colored leads are notorious for being really hard to erase, so I have no expectation that it's going to work well on this orange lead, but we'll see. So obviously it worked really well for the HB graphite. There's a bit of a trace left on the softer lead, just a faint mark, and it barely erased any of the colored leads. I'm gonna also try the kneaded eraser. Now it's really hot here today and I feel like it's affecting this eraser in some way, but we'll see. It's like extra sticky. It's so soft. I'm not used to this. It's really sticky. And now this, yeah, barely any pickup. So it's kind of hard to say about this one. Usually the way I use an eraser like this is I'm gonna make a sketch. And then I kind of want to lighten it a bit before I ink, so I don't ink over all the graphite powder. So I usually take an eraser like this and I just press it on my drawing to remove the extra graphite. And I think that for that it works well, but yeah, it's probably one of the softest kneaded eraser I've ever seen. Really, really soft. And then for this I could come back and ink over it. Or if I wanted to, I could come in and refine my sketch. The advantage of lightening the sketch lines with a kneaded eraser is that it kind of keeps things easier to see as well. Like there's not too many lines fighting for attention on this little sketch. I took a moment to try and disassemble the pencil just to see what kind of maintenance can happen with these, and I think it's fairly straightforward. The barrel seems to be a single piece of metal. The tip here you can unscrew and it attaches to the plastic cylinder in there that holds the lead. And then you have the small eraser to cap this one, and also the metal cap to finish the whole thing. So all in all, it's a really simple, straightforward design. There were no loose parts, no spring that came out, no bits of metal that separated from the rest. And I really appreciate that. So that's it for my quick tour of this really cool set of pencils. I think this is a really great bundle and it seems to be good pencil. I will be using these because I really like them, so I might have extra feedback after a few months of use. But so far I think it's a really great deal and you get so much supplies in this very practical case that I'm kind of impressed. The pencils seem to be really good quality. I like the erasers. The knitted eraser is a bit odd, but it seems to work fine to lighten a sketch. And I really like the addition of colored leads because that's something that I use regularly to do layouts or really like the basic sketch. And then you can try to lighten it and then you can draw on top with the darker graphite. The sharpeners for the thicker leads are really nice too, so I really appreciate that. Let me know what you think of this set. I would love to read your thoughts, and also thank you for Candies for sending me these pencils. I'm gonna have a really fun time using them, I can tell. Thanks for watching, bye bye!